Sure thing. Good morning. I'm Mr. Urbanowski, resident science teacher with experience in biology, chemistry, physics, more science than any one person should or with sanity ever study.
So I just have you here to answer some questions about the universe.
Sure thing.
Okay. Let's start off with just some easy questions. How do you think humans and life in general will be affected in millions of years?
So I think in millions of years, to be honest, I think that's going really far out. We're going to have left the planet by then. I'm going to ballpark it and say we've got 250 to 300 years before we run out of fossil fuels. Now, there have been other energy kind of resources looked at, whether it's thorium reactors, other radioactive power generations. I think wholeheartedly, though, we're going to be completely off planet. Whether we found another rock to live on or we're living in space colonies a la your favorite sci-fi, I think long term we are going to be gone out on our own, traveling through a new spaceship of our own construction, and the Earth will be cold and dark, not to be too much of a downer. But in millions of years, I mean, if we go even further out, take it from millions of years and go out to billions, the sun's going to puff up to be a red giant and is then going to absorb, most likely, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and then Mars would be the first rock from the sun. So, I mean, that's going to be a pretty universal upheaval of our galaxy. So I think that we're going to be traveling the stars and kind of doing our own thing out somewhere else. We'll have figured out the technology to gain resources from asteroids and from other things, and just kind of utilizing technology, bending it to our will, and then allowing us to kind of transcend the need of a planet.
Another question. What is your scientific take on how the universe will end?
So the universe could end in, I think, one of two ways. The predominant theory is you had the Big Bang, where all of a sudden you had sea of nothingness, and then you had a singularity. Boom. Everything went outwards, all directions at the speed of light, or even faster than we can measure. We're limited by our technology, but everything went from nothing to boom, out in all directions. Now, the idea behind that is an object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by another force. If you're going through the vacuum of space where there is nothing, no other force is going to act on that. So in theory, it's just going to keep spreading out and spreading out and spreading out and spreading out forever. I think of it like a piece of dough. Eventually, that dough is going to reach its thinnest point, and then it's just going to kind of snap back. So my thought is, now this is probably billions upon billions upon billions of years from now, but the universe may itself stop expanding and then begin that equal and opposite reaction and begin collapsing in on itself. Now, it's going to take, if it took us billions and billions and billions of years to expand out, it's going to also take billions and billions and billions of years to snap back. But that's one thought. The other idea would be that as it expands outward, 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 it's just going to keep going. And it's never going to stop expanding. We're not going to reach the limits of the dough. We're never going to snap back. And the universe is just going to keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until we, in theory, hit the next universe out there. We run into something, some opposing force, whether that's another universe and we start interacting like swirling galaxies that we've already observed in our own universe, or it ends up just kind of hitting another universe and we have an event where we cross over. But I mean, you need only look to Disney Plus and you can see lots of crossover events there with the multiversal ideas. But that's my thought, is we're just going to keep expanding out, expanding out, expanding out, or we're eventually going to snap back in. But again, billions and billions of years from now, nothing we got to worry about.
Got it. Okay, another question. Do you have any theories about the universe in the future, aside from how you think the universe will end?
So universe in the future, I think that it is vastly underexplored. I think that's kind of, we've taken steps in the right direction. We've gotten more and more stuff off of our planet, nearby our planet, sent probes out and explored other things. But I think once we break through the engine technology that allows us to leave our planet more easily without lots and lots of fuel and forces. I think that once we start exploring our universe, even our galaxy, more effectively, we could then explore our universe more effectively, and it'll turn into kind of the next ocean. I know sci-fi has done a lot of stories about space pirates and stuff like that going on. I kind of see that as being semi-grounded in reality, where as we get the ability to leave and explore more of our universe, we keep exploring it. And honestly, who knows what we find. If we find other life sources, if we find other resources, the universe is kind of our oyster once we figure out how to get out there. Right now, we're really stuck on our planet, and we really can't leave very well. So once we solve that problem, I think the universe is going to be chock full of undiscovered and unexplored areas. And it's going to be kind of cool to sit back and just kind of see what all we find. From a tangible standpoint, our periodic table of 118 elements could expand to several thousand elements. Or we could generate a different periodic table for each planet. We could have the Earth periodic table, the Mars periodic table, and the Omega-1 periodic table. Whatever we start naming planets when we run out of ideas. We'll have to just wait and see.
Okay. This one is an interesting question.
All right, bring it on.
It relates back to one of the answers that you had earlier. Do you believe there are multiple universes, or that universes are recycled over and over again, or something else entirely?
So I like the second idea of universes recycling over and over again, because I mean, we've established, at least per our perception, that there is a finite amount of stuff, finite amount of matter. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. No matter how hard we hit it, no matter how many bombs we drop on it, that matter goes someplace else or takes a different form. So I think for now, at least, as long as that law of physics holds true, that the universe has to at some point recycle. I kind of mentioned it when we were expanding out and expanding out. At some point, that matter has got to either loop back around like a convection current and kind of become part of the energy cycle again, or we don't understand physics enough to truly understand how the universe is working in regards to its matter. Maybe, now this kind of goes into wormhole theory with black holes, maybe there is something along the lines of a parallel or an alternate universe that we just can't comprehend, and what we say is spaghettification, where you get squashed and stretched as you approach a black hole, is actually how you teleport or move to another plane of existence, another universe, whatever phrasing you want to use on it. Could potentially be that. There is quite a bit of stuff out there in the universe that we just don't know enough about because we've never actually done anything. Unfortunately, we can't just like launch a probe into a black hole because they are so very far away. And a lot of times the taxpayers get pretty bent out of shape when you're like, yeah, we're going to take this billion-dollar thing and launch it into something that will most likely destroy it. But we're going to learn from it, right? Okay? And they go, no, don't spend our money on that, please. So it's a tough give and take. I would struggle to donate my own money to that as well. Even being a scientist, I mean, money is money. But I do kind of think that there are levels to the universe that we don't understand. There could be parallels out there. But I don't really have a concrete answer because, again, not enough understanding.
Okay. And last question. Do you think the human race will be wiped out similarly to the dinosaurs?
That's a solid one. I really don't think so. I think that we have enough consciousness, wherewithal, and mastery of technology such that if a catastrophic asteroid impact event were to happen, we would, at least in our most developed countries, have some level of forewarning. We would have the emergency broadcast system going out saying, NASA's tracking this object, it's the size of half of the United States, it's going to impact here, we need to respond this way, move here, dig there, like mobilize. Again, we can't really get off planet very quickly, so it's not going to be the sci-fi style exodus of starships leaving Earth. I mean, Elon Musk might do that, but then again, it's not going to really go anywhere because we, again, don't have the tech yet. I really feel like if something like that were to happen, there are going to be massive loss of life and casualties there. However, I think by and large we're going to be able to adapt a little bit to it. whether it's we all move away from the impact site and kind of hunker down, dig down, go almost the kind of mole person, subterranean lifestyle for a while we wait for the planet to kind of settle, or vice versa, we go and we build another localized International Space Station style thing where we're close to Earth. We can watch all of the fireworks and everything going on as the asteroid hits, and we're able to watch from afar. Is that going to fit everybody on the planet? Heck no. Is that going to be able to save some? And can that then kind of be the next seed starter for the next human race? Potentially. So I don't think we're going to go the way of the dinosaurs. I don't think we're going to wipe ourselves out completely because of our adaptability and our mastery of technology. I mean, yeah, I think that's probably the least grim way I can answer that question. But good question overall.
That's all I have for you today. Thank
Perfect.
you so much.
Well, thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate the questions and the thought experiments we got going on. This was fun.